Hello, and welcome to the Lion's Den. I'm your host, Maria Lyons, and today we're going to be discussing negative and positive thinking. First, let me describe the difference between the two. You see, negative thinking is very judgmental. It's hateful, destructive, creates doubt, depression, self-pity, anger, regret, sadness, and hate. Now, none of those things feel good, now do they? But let's now look at positive thinking. It's love and happiness, encouraging, inspiring, uplifting, grateful, healthy, pure, reverent, joyous, successful, and abundant. And the reason it's so important to recognize these differences in how you think, it's simple. How you think can cause you to live a happy, joyous life or live a life of misery. Here's the thing. Everything is all in your head, good or bad, past or future. God doesn't promise us that we'll be here tomorrow, but He said for us to enjoy what we have now. So to stay negative and to always look on the bad side of things isn't serving you or your family and friends. Negative thinking will only bring more negative stuff into your life. Don't you agree? Here's my story. In 2010, we lost our house, and that set me on a road of utter destruction in my mind. I started thinking things like, I'm not good enough. I'm a terrible parent. People hate me. I hate myself. My marriage sucks. I'm all alone and no one loves me. Then we got word that one of our companies was closing its door due to the recession, and this set my mind more in negative self-talk. Then my son had a seizure. Then my car was almost repoed, and on and on and on. The story just keeps getting a little more out of hand, but I'm actually going to stop there. We'll need more time to keep going into that. But you see, the one event that set my mind off, it just kept spinning out of control from there. What turned me around, though, you may be asking, is, well, it was a friend of mine, a really big guy. We were at a function, and he grabbed me around by the neck, and he said, I want to pray for you, because I realize that with everything you have been going through lately, you just have lost your joy. There it was. He was right. I had lost my joy. There I was at the end of my rope, wondering if living was even worth it or not. Joy. 2 years I'd been in this negative mindset, a downward spiral, spinning out of control, and finally I woke up and realized my stinking thinking. So my next goal was to figure out how to regain my joy. And I did it by learning to be grateful for all the things that I did have going right in my life. I stopped being so resentful and full of hate for all the people who did us wrong. And this broadcast really isn't long enough for me to go into the whole healing process, but the first step that I did was to start listening to how I felt when I was judging, doubting, or having negative feelings. Then I'd write them down in my journal. You see, writing it down gave me a way to express on paper how I felt, and it helped me start to feel better about myself. Then I'd go back and read the negative stuff and figure out how to replace it with positive thoughts and feelings. Now just imagine for a moment that your negative thought is a pencil, and you take that pencil and you hold it in your hand and you squeeze it hard, as hard as you can, and eventually your fingernails, they start piercing into your hand, causing you pain, and you keep squeezing it harder and harder, and maybe to the point of making your hand hurt. And just like the pencil in your hand, so is a negative thought in your mind. If you leave it there long enough, your mind will start to hurt. So here's the trick. Your negative thought is just like the pencil in your hand. You can release it at any time. When you choose to release the negative thinking in your life, you'll see your life take on a magical turn. So choose to nurse your positive thoughts. Learn to be happy and watch miracles begin to happen for you. This is Maria Lyons wishing you much success and happiness. Thanks for tuning in to the Lion's Den.